Alright, so hello and welcome to another video from the Raven in the Road. Today what we're going to get into is the L1 Pro 16 by Bose. So real quick, just before we jump in, this video is not going to be too heavy when it comes to specs and things like that. To be honest, you can pull that up on their website. Instead, what I'm going to talk about is my personal experience with this as opposed to other PAs, some pros, some cons, and just kind of how it's fit in for us, both on like a solo duo platform as well as full band. All right, so this is part of a 3-piece series. So we have the 8, the 16, and the 32. So between the 8 and the 16, some of the big differences are the 8 doesn't have as many speakers. It kind of stops like up to here. So you're not getting that much coming out. The main reason we decided to go with the 16, the quality of this sound is much different. And personally, if you're going to invest in a Bose, I mean, usually you're coming to Bose for that quality of sound. I wouldn't spend the money on the 8. The 16, I'd save up the extra few bucks for the 16. Just the quality and sound is such a night and day difference. Really like 16 more. The downside to the 32, excuse me. I know the setup for the 32 is a little bit more, so it's not as transportation friendly. I think it has to do with like the subwoofer. So this is just pick it up, pull it in a bag, you're good to go. So it's a lot easier to kind of manage. The reason I really like the Bose L1 Pro 16 is it's so simple. Like it really is. You literally just plug it in, put the thing in the hole, turn the button on, and it's good to go. So that's really incredible just in itself. But once again, just the sound quality of Bose is so good. It is just so good. So between those two things, that's why it's one of my favorites. Okay, so jumping into some personal experience. Big thing for our band is just having a unified sound. What I mean by that is I want all the sound coming out together. Oftentimes you go listen to live music and you'll have a guitar amp down here, the PAs are up here, and just, depending on where you're sitting, you could be getting a face full of bass and no vocals, right? And so just having all the sound coming out of one place, one unified sound, which is really big for us. And so with this, you get a really nice blend, vocally, and with some of the highs, speaks really well. And the sub is actually really incredible. To be honest, we actually have to keep the bass turned pretty far down because it booms if you want it to. So it's a really solid sub on it. So the reason we ended up going with a line array like this is most places too, if we're sitting right in front of the band, we're fine. But if you're off to the side, most of those PAs are just one directional, right? So the sound is coming up here. It might disperse a little bit, but hardly any. So unless you're right there in front, or if you're, inside and the sound's bouncing off all the walls, you're really not going to hear much. And so, we're doing a lot of outside vineyards and, festivals, markets, whatever it is. And so, especially when we're outside, having that sound equally dispersed, that 180 degrees goes so far. And once again, it's that consistency in the sound, which is what I love about it so much, and it's a good sound. So I'd say if you are a solo act, this is great. Even duo. So I sing a little bit, but guitar is my main guitar and saxophone. So if we have Natalie singing, I'll go through the guitar. It's perfect for that. It does put out a good bit before you start getting into distortion. And once again, outside markets, pop-up markets, all that kind of stuff. Being outside, sometimes we do have to turn up a little bit just to kind of fill all that space, and it does a great job. Like I said, of doing that before it gets to distortion, because oftentimes if you try to push it too much, the quality of the sound starts to diminish a bit. So there's a good job there. So this system does have two like universal inputs where you can do like an XLR or a 1/4 inch. So it's got two of those, and the third channel is Bluetooth. Bluetooth is super handy, especially if we're on breaks. If we need to play music, we can just sync it up like that. Super great there. So if you're doing a solo and you can get by with just 2 channels, awesome. We'll usually just kind of run everything to the mixer and throw the mixer out into, channel 1. So you can do that too if you want to. So what we do for the full band, because we loved it so much with the duo, we wanted to try to bring it with the full band. I would say if you're having drums, bass player, just more, I would recommend getting 2. So what we'll do is we'll often get it kind of the front corners. And once again, depending on the room, we might angle it a little bit just for that 180 spread, so we can focus on certain parts in the room, where most of the people are going to be. There is a line out on here, so you can't connect them. So like if this is the main one, mixer going into here, we'll throw an XLR line out and throw it into the input one on the other one, just, on the other side of the stage. Once again, it does a really great job. You don't have to crank it up too much, because, we have 2, so we don't have to get too crazy with it. But once again, just having that nice, full and balanced sound is really great. For some of the breweries, if we needed to, we have brought extra like PAs or subs, but for most part, it's really not needed. So some quick warnings and just things to be cognizant of. Because of the widespread coverage, it's putting out at 180 degrees. Be really careful of your monitor placement if you're going to use them and not in-ears, as well as your microphone placement. If you had the PA before, you can even sometimes have the PA behind you, just kind of have your mic a little bit off to the side. But now that you're getting more of that coverage, you got to be careful that these aren't going to sync up. Otherwise, you're going to get feedback really quick. So that is something to keep in mind, just your placement of the PA. Keep that in mind if you're going to need to get a monitor then, because it's going to have to be in front of you. Might be something to invest in. Just be really careful with the feedback because it does get more coverage. The only other thing I'll say is the subwoofer as well. It's pretty heavy. So, if you're a guitar player and you're kind of used to like tube amps, it's about the same weight. I'd probably say it's like between 45 pounds. It's not too bad, but if you're having to carry a lot of stuff, just know it's going to be a little bit. So beware of stairs. So to wrap it up, this is great for definitely solo duos. I would get 2 if you're wanting to do a little bit more, bars, slightly bigger venues. If you're doing really big venues, obviously you're looking at a different setup. But for like your standard bands and things, this works great. The simplicity is amazing. The sound quality is incredible. Every now and again when we're free, we try to listen to some live music and acts, and I've heard a few other, just through line array systems like this, but different companies, and it's good. But I have noticed a pretty sizable difference when it comes to just the quality of sound. Once again, there's just something that Bose does, and it's fantastic. All right, so I hope this helped give you a little bit more insight, show you a few different things, get you thinking about some things as well. If this is a purchase you're considering, and yeah, if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know why. Always looking to improve. So, hey, let's go. Yes, and if there's anything else you'd like me to kind of jump in and cover, please drop in the comments below.